Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. With me, Muhammad Said. Now let's continue the first module of CPD British Council. I hope we can finish it today. Let's try. Let me share screen first. Nice. All right. Now let's go back to the website. Okay, I use the thumbnail Borobudur Temple because I reply for the other participant, the other fellow teachers about Borobudur Temple. And it's the proof that I already have the chance to visit there, so I upload the picture. All right, now let's continue my progress. First, click my learning and then my courses, and then start course. Okay, click module one. Okay, thanks God. I have already finished 33%. So my current progress now for the second unit, English for Teaching 2, part 1 overview, start, pause. Okay, continue. Autonomous Learning Tree. The clip is a summary of all of the ideas put forward by the teachers on the previous slide. My sentence helps to make sentences giving some techniques and activities for making learner more autonomous. Then listen to the summary, check your answer. Wow. Let me repeat what the female presenter said. Learning doesn't only depend on the teacher. Students have an equal part to play, and we should encourage this. Move forward from traditional approaches and let students work collaboratively in pairs and groups. For at least some parts of each lesson, I believe all teachers already already did that. But here's the most interesting one. Involve them in planning topics and material for future lessons. Sometimes, especially for my case, I, as the teacher, prepare the topic without asking my students. So it's really good advice, really good suggestion. Yeah, students enjoy thinking for themselves when we introduce a story, let them decide what happened next before they read it. Get students to research an interesting topic before an activity in a textbook. Hmm, I need to do this interesting topic. For example, currently I'm teaching about any context. Yeah, I can ask the topic that related to the news or the recent events. For example, like in our agency, Hulu Sungai Selatan, there is a anniversary day for our agency. If you're interested, I can make that into our lesson. Wow, it's simple suggestion, but I believe it will it will encourage more for my students. Thank you so much. And then develop it afterward into project, yes, and encourage self-correction and peer correction. Ah, this is to make the other students more active, and they can do peer correction. Students can given tools to be more independent, learning how to use new words from a context, and keeping a vocabulary record. Okay, for example, I give my students tools And then I give them okay text. They can use the new words from the context and keeping a vocabulary code. Doing independent reading, mhm, and using dictionary and keeping a diary for their words. I really love to try this. I will ask my student for next topic. Now, let's try to match the sentence to make it complete. Mhm. Learning doesn't only depend on the teacher. The students work collaboratively in pairs and groups. Let me skip it. Involve them in planning topics and material for future lessons. Wait, don't you think it's the same with this one? It's only depend on the teacher. Alright. Let students work collaboratively in pair and groups. Look at that. Mm, can use this. Groups for at least some parts of each lesson. This one. Then for get students to research an interesting topic. Yeah, in peer correction. Encourage self-correction. I think this one for this part. Students can be given tools to be more independent or develop it into project. Let me try. Yes, totally correct. Let's continue. Page 11. Autonomous learning 4. Now, think about yourself as a learner. These ideas from the from the previous slides could help you with your own development. Select the ideas from the list below that you will use. Okay, collaboration, become a researcher, analyze your learning, peer and self-correction, planning. Oh, should I check yes some of it? I think that's okay. The other correct answer for this exercise, what other will make sure you maximize. I will maximize my learning on this course. I will share to the other teachers. I will collaborate with them. Let me copy it for my notes. Okay, it's done. Next, page 12, autonomous learning 5. Whatever you decide on to make yourself autonomous, it's important to push yourself and consider your learning along the way. Online courses have the advantage of being accessible at different times, but try to study little and often. Okay, I will just little and often, other than in a long session. I think it makes us more focused rather than leaving yourself with a lot to do all in one go. This way, you'll be able to do more of the things you decided on the previous slide in between. It's a good idea to set yourself specific goals, which we'll do on the next slide. Mhm. Next, autonomous learning 6. Now write your own goals for this course. The correct answer for this activity, but remember that you are more likely to achieve your goals if they are written down. You can come back to this slide at any point during the course. Complete the sentences to make your own goals. I will study. Oh, my God. Mm, okay, let me count it. If I study for about 1 day, I will have 7 hours per week. No, it's not enough. I'm like 2 hours a day. So per week it should be 14. All right. I'll post in the forums mm, twice a week. Oh no no no, 3 times. I will aim to use any words from the course when I speaking to my fellow teachers, especially in MGMV English Teaching Forum. Ah, I remember something that I just skip it. I will continue this process. I will listen out for new language when I'm watching this TV program. I will listen out for new language when I'm watching this TV program or listening to podcast. The TV program series. Yeah, I like series. I will try out new teaching ideas in these classes. Board game like coin toss. I'll extend my learning by accessing this material on website. Okay, let me take it from teaching English stuff org.uk. Finish. Uh-huh. Maybe I remember. I will make it. I will make a screenshot. And I put it here. Nice. Continue. End of unit. That's the end of unit 2 in an overview module. You should not have thought about how to take learning from the course into your classroom. Let me talk. Okay, to make it more fun, enjoyable, I need to put like gamification, like toss a coin for board games. I prefer for differentiated learner. Like lower capability, I must provide more examples, like the example of sentences, the example of vocabularies, and the other helpful tools. But for the higher capabilities, the student who have the higher capabilities, I can not only from the word or sentence, but I can also use the picture for them. They can guess the exact word from the picture, I believe it. Decided on the best way to become a more autonomous learner. Yeah, I must invite my students to prefer the future topic. And then I will make our students give their opinion, give their suggestion, so they will have peer correction. I believe that's a good idea. Oh, let's watch ropes. Okay, thanks for the rounds up, bro. Hmm, that's nice. Let me watch once more. I think the subtitle is not correct, right? This means much. Let's read this video transcript. Yeah, I'm now come to the end of the second unit in part one overview. I hope you have been able to really think about how you'll work through the course and maximize the learning opportunities within it. Hopefully, the board game activities showing you how you can take certain language into the classroom. And you also have some tips for adapting the level of your learners. And also it's about being more autonomous for both yourself and your learners. In the final unit of this overview, we're using an interview to like different ways of analyzing language. See you there. Nice. Back. Okay, we have completed Unit 2. Congratulations. Now, for the last unit on the Module 1 is Unit 3. Unit 3. English for Teaching 2.1 overview. Mm-hmm. I will do it as soon as possible, okay? Natasha, welcome to the unit of the overview module. This unit takes about 1 hour. By the end of the unit, you have seen how you'll be using the language in the course, thought about some of the different ways to analyze language, consider the importance of iteration, collaboration, and online course. Watch Rob before you begin. Alright, now it's your turn, Rob. Aha, maximize the course forum. I see you. This finally, the purview module is to help you see the kind of language you will be using in an authentic context. You'll be watching the review idea with a teacher trainer called Lisa Woodward and analyzing some of the language design uses. You'll look at how to use the forum to maximize learning opportunities on the course. All right, here we go. In this unit, you'll be watching a series of clips. I love watching series. From an interview with Tessa Woodward, before you watch, read a little about Lisa from her EFL magazine's profile. Wow, she must be a famous teacher. EFL magazine? I'm curious. Can I access EFL magazine? Oh, there's EFL magazines. I didn't know about that. That's great. I must win this EFL magazine. Business profile. This is what is a teacher, editor, author, and a frequent speaker on a health teaching circuit. This written book for Cambridge, wow, helping in her own publishing house, TW Publication. Stacey is only editor of the Teacher Training Journal, is a practical journal for the train, manner, educate ESOL teachers. Away from her work, this English country pursuits like walking, riding, and gardening. Do you have a clear profile for this course yet? Have you added a few personal details about what you enjoy doing outside of the classroom? You'll write your professional profile letter in this course. I will save you. I will put it here. Oh, next. Next page is page 3. Talking about your professional career is something you have probably asked to do quite frequently. Of course, courses such as this, you may be asked to reflect on different contexts. And of course, it's interesting to share stories with other teachers. You need these different tenses to do it and allow me to describe how you felt at various stages. Read the answer is again about how she got into English language teaching and try to complete the gaps. Then listen and check your answer. Mhm. Hmm, I didn't feel, oh, even the famous one didn't feel confident at first being a teacher at all, but I did feel confident about this subject. I think we learn about past simple or simple past on this one. Actually, I must have watched this, right? I just listened, but I love to watch the transcript. Let me get once more. How did you? Ah, also one. Also, it's a free market. Reflection from the scroll online. Often is safe. Sounds good. First year. Yeah, of the thing can be it's really nice. So you can have anyone. You can keep your data. You can drink again. So that's what I do. Usually it was different because I will be working with people who are overseas. It's usually that I like that. In those things. Or using thoughts also. So I think I will be good all to the subject. So that's why I decided to get the for the first time to watch speak the first English speaker. So I would say that possible. Wow, great, very nice. How did you get into teaching English? Did you always know you wanted to be a teacher? Or did you have an almost accident for it while you didn't want to start? When I was a kid, when I was a student of elementary school, I had different dream to become a teacher. And then I want to become a soldier. I want to become a doctor. Yeah, it's a kid dreams. Mm, the history of my family, my mother is a teacher and my father is a civil servant. So I thought there's also the positive environment from me, supportive environment that make me happen to be the teacher as well. But I love learning and I love teaching students, especially in a fun, enjoyable way. All right, here we go. Now let's go to the page for video interview 3. During this course, you'll be asked to try out some ideas in your own classroom. You may be nervous about doing ideas at first, especially if some of the ideas are very different from what you normally do. But trying new things will help you to improve your own English as you practice using the new language that comes with it. Here, there's a thought about how she overcome being nervous in the classroom. I love to hear that. Add the correct word to the paragraph and then listen and try. Let me try. Thinking. Alright, let me repeat what she says. This one. I've learned to be a bit less nervous to undertake confident as a person. I learned that if you just think about the people who are with you and how nervous they are feeling, and talk to them and try to understand where they're coming from, then your awareness just completely disappear. You stop thinking about yourself, basically. Nice. What is healthy in the classroom? What other do you have? Share them with the other participants on the forum. How nervous they're probably feeling and talk to them. Try to understand what they are, where they're coming from. All right, here we go. Stop us. We finish this one. Now let's finish this. Oh yeah, we will stop when there's a let's say that prayer calling as then for the Lord. But I think I still have about 20 minutes. Feeding there for sure. When you're describing an event, you will want to engage the listener and what you're saying as well as choosing interesting language. You can use feature of pronunciation to emphasize the words you want them to focus on. This is about a memorable teaching experience in this text tip, where a learner has a first experience. Read the sentences from her description and predict the words you think she'll emphasize the most. Remember that they are just prediction. Your speaker might choose to emphasize different words after he predicted what's the clip and then change your answer to the word that's actually emphasized. Uh-huh. Allow me to drink for a while. Oh, that's that. It's no. Hmm. Oh no, I don't focus. How many did you play correctly? Don't worry because I'm wrong. It's up to the speaker to decide which word to stress to add effect. The idea here is to throw your attention to the stress word, because it's help your listening skill a lot. As you hear the meaning behind the actual word the speaker uses, you learn more about this throughout this part because I never use this training for my students because I never get this. So, but I think this is very good. Let's click show it back. How did you read it correctly? Don't worry if you get some wrong, some that you get the size word stress and the effect. Yeah, you start to draw attention. You stress words. Another thing is how she listening skills a lot. Yes, I know that the stress word. What's stress mark? As you hear the meaning behind the actual words, a speaker uses you learn more about it throughout this part of the course. Okay, really, it's hard to imagine. There's always, this is intently, this is wise, venomous, fire, four. Okay, let's go to the next page. Wait a minute. Enough. Thank you. Next. Excellent. There's something that there is no role relaxation. There is no classroom, so it's false. There's role. It's a thing that discussion how in the words overlap with events is a very natural thing to do. It says that if something happens to nature in everyday life, then there's no reason why it shouldn't happen in the classroom. This also suggests that tasks can be specially designed about around translation for the classroom. It suggests that no translation rule may have come from a native speaker, English speaker, teachers, but it other reason so comes translation. Finish. Oh my god. Let me listen. Also, they come natural. Yeah, I know. Communication for the whole government, especially with speakers, especially speakers who are not confident in their language. So they have to get it ready to speak English in order to be able to fight for the class. We now have all over the world, thousands and thousands of people who are very skilled bilingual, trilingual, trying why if you realize if somebody to do one hand behind their back. Don't use your strong suit and just the thing. We surely could it. See how this looks like too. Alright, here we go. For the last page 3. How would you feel you were also teaching a group of 40 learners in 50 times? I love it in a Zoom, but if it's a classroom, I need microphone. If I want to make sure you had a feeling with you, sure. Look at the list of select and sing about which you want to have. Watching the clip and then select all the things that is mentioned. For some time. Okay, let me read. So the final question of ours. How would you feel if you were asked to teach a class of about 40 students in 15 minutes time? 40 students? Well, when I was in Japan, we had 55 in the class. So 40 would have felt very small. It depends on what age they are. I will just age. Oh, okay, so I say if they are over 15, I'm alright. Under that, I'm not sure. Only several things. I love to have my picture pack with me. Alright. I have got big packs of picture. I'd love to have some music with me. Some music. And it would be wonderful if the class teacher was me too, so that she or he could tell me a little bit about what they like and what they need. So this is our lesson plan that the regular class teacher. And we could teach them in class there. I like team teaching, so I would be presenting challenges. But if they were kids, I'd be running in the opposite direction. Huh? I don't know how to do that. Okay, all right. Well, thanks very much for your time. You're also guys, be nice. See you. All right. It's a Woodward. La, 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 la. Mhm. Finish. Wow. Wow. Just that. Oh, module one. I have lived. Ah, this is the last part. Come on. I must finish this before Zuhur prayer. Few interview seven. Finally, for this section, listen for about some of the things she's into outside of English level teaching. Read the sentences and then listen out for them as you watch the clip. After watching, match each piece of language to the name of structure used. Read the sentence, then listen out for them as you watch the clip. I think I can write here. I have much free time. This is past simple negative. I went to workshop. This is past simple positive. Things I have always loved. This is present perfect. I love singing. Present simple. When you are doing present continuous. Alright, let's watch. I was just not gonna say. I was singing. It's like it's wonderful. It's, it's not it's, I like variety too. It will not make us boring. Mhm. Yes. Finish. You know, it's the stretch memory of the common tools. You there? Think about all the video that I watching every clips. Converting sentence in a gap, real in a gap, real, selecting the correct word, complete text, processing feature of pronunciation, inferring meaning in a tool was activity, listening versus video analyzing news structures. Now what's your plan on word search activity? Nice. Interaction collaboration one. In this section, you will like interacting, particularly the problems. It's important to ask questions in the forum to encourage interaction with you and other participants. First, with the question will enter you will decide into the correct order. How did you get into English language teaching? Could you ask the Korean teaching we talking about? Could you tell us a memorable experience? Memorable. Ah, I think it should be. Could you tell us about about a memorable Christmas trip? Teacher, what have what have you learned being? What have you learned from being a teacher? Hmm? Thank you for today. We do a role session. Do today. Do you do you think do you think there is role for the translation? Yes. Do you think there is a role for the translation? Do you think there is a role? There is a role for the translation? Yes, for the Indo in oh, doing when when are you thinking when are you thinking about your thing? Oh my god, I don't know this one. When are you thinking about LP? When are you thinking? When are you thinking to be? Oh my God, my memory is distracted. When are you thinking? When are you likely? When are you not likely thinking? We are not likely thinking. What to be your? When are you not real likely thinking? What you want to be? Oh, I'm in a mess. I didn't know what is. But we'll just skip it. 15 minutes time. How would you feel? How would you feel? You feel to ask. How would you feel if you teach? How would you feel if you teach a class of about 40 students? I really don't know. Oh, oh my God, I was so sleepy. How would you feel if you were asked to teach about 40 students and 40 students in a class of 15 minutes? Oh, finish? Then I'm not likely thinking of it. I'm not sure about that, but let's try. Finish. Oh, how pretty I am. How pretty I am. How would you feel? How would you feel if you were asked to teach a class of about 40 students in 15 minutes time? How would you feel if you were asked to teach a class of about 40 students in 15 minutes time? How did you get into English language teaching? How did you get into English language teaching? Hmm? Could you tell us about the memorable experience? What have you learned from being a teacher? What have you learned from being a teacher? Do you think there's a role for translation in the English language classroom today? Do you think there is a role for translation in the English language classroom today? When you're not thinking about ELT, when you're not thinking about ELT, what are you likely to be doing? When you are not thinking about ELT, what are you likely to be doing? Let me try. How did you get into English language teaching? Remember ELT, English language teaching. Nice. Could you tell, could you tell us about memorable teaching experience? Next, what have, what have you learned from being a teacher? Nice. Oh my God, it's a hmm, to Do you think there's a role in translation for the English classroom today? Do you think there's a role? Mhm. When you are not thinking about reality, what are you doing? What are you to be likely doing? Yeah, not thinking about reality. What are you? What are you to be likely? What are you to be like doing? How would you feel if you were asked to teach a class of about 40 students in 50 minutes time? Ah, there is still two answer wrong. Oh my god. How would you feel if you were asked to teach a class of about 40 students in 15 minutes time? Let me save it, let me save it. When you are not thinking about IELTS, what are you likely to be doing? This is wrong. My god. Oh no, I should exchange this. Do you think there is a rule for a translation in the language lesson today? What have you learned from being a teacher? 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 It was about a memorable experience. Could you tell us about the memorable teaching experience? Tell us about the memorable teaching experience. How did you get into English language teaching? How did you get How did you get into English language teaching? You get into English language teaching. Hmm, slow way. Okay, I think that's enough. When you are not thinking, when you are not thinking about anything, what are you likely to be doing? Are you are you likely? Hmm, how did you get into English language teaching? Would you tell us to begin us about memorable teaching experience. What have you learned from being a teacher? Do you see you as a new translation in English language classroom? Do you think so? Forum session. Mhm. When, 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 don't think about it. When thinking, when thinking about reality, what you are likely to be in. When thinking about it, you are likely to be likely to be. How would you feel? What you feel if you asked to teach, teach, which is a class of to teach a class of about 30 students. To teach a class of hmm, still something wrong? Which one is it? Oh, she should be when are you? When you are not thinking about ELT. Oh my god. So again, how did you get into English language lesson? Could you tell us about a memorable teaching experience? What have you learned from being a teacher? Do you do you think there is a wrong full translation in the English language today? Oh no, I must pray first. Please, everyone, wait for me. I wanna do prayer first.